Yo, one of these days, some of y'all gonna realize that I'm giving a lot of free game over here that's gonna one day save your life. Real talk. Rule number one, don't trust none of them. Rule number two, stay solo. And better believe that they are plotting, brothers and sisters. Yeah, they're plotting. Now, this message is directly to the chosen ones, and I'm talking about brothers and sisters who have took their initial steps towards spiritual clarity. You know, individuals who have taken the narrow path or the road less traveled. You know, everybody is not a chosen one. You know, I know that that title, chosen one, have been ran through the mud. A lot of people don't realize that it's a biblical concept. The whole idea of it being specific people on this planet being chosen is a biblical concept. So anybody just running away with it, believing that they chosen and all of this, and they're not living up to the standards, they're not fulfilling the purpose and living the will of the Father, then they're not chosen for anything, right? So let's make that clear. But chosen ones, I need y'all to understand. You compromise the entire world's way of life as you know it. You compromise their reality. You compromise their ego. You compromise everything that they knew or thought they knew and everything that they stand for. So when I give these fervent warnings, they are to be taken very, very seriously, because people will literally take you out when you bruise that ego. Oh, the ego is very powerful. Some of y'all are surrounded by individuals, particularly in a lot of these inner cities and places that is a high concentration of population, and you don't even realize that you're being plotted on. There's certain snares and traps being laid for you, and the scriptures talk about this all the time. David, when he prayed, and mostly half the book of Psalms, he was talking about people who was plotting on his life. He was saying, Father, those who are laying snares for me, those who are setting up traps, those who are trying to persecute us behind the scenes, he said, let them fall into each snare that they trap. Let them fall into the ditch in which they dug up. Because the prophets were aware. They were very aware of what's going on around them. So they had to move among themselves. They had to be solo. They had to isolate and get away from a lot of people. A lot of people can't be trusted. A lot of people out here, they know exactly who y'all are. See, you think because you are an introvert and you're a loner, and you're an individual who mind your business, read your scriptures, and drink your water, you thinking that people around you are not aware of your existence. Your very existence is being monitored. These are monitoring spirits we talking about. Let me see. So don't think for a second that they ain't watching. A lot of you loners, a lot of you people who are solo are actually very popular. You're very popular. But this is how you got to keep it. You may be a solo, you might be an individual who moves solo, but you may know a lot of people. A lot of people may know you, but those people really don't know you. You get what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? You may be a popular loner. You know a lot of people. A lot of people know you, but they really don't know you. You want to kind of keep it that way, because the more you engage, because the more you open up to individuals who may be plotting, the more you open up to individuals that you really can't trust because you don't know their motives, the more danger you put yourself in. The more danger you put yourself in. So information is power. A lot of y'all got to start to take these things seriously. And just because somebody got the same bloodline as you, don't mean you can trust them either. Now, the plots run deep. The plots run deep. I'm talking about brothers They're sending honey traps at a lot of you brothers. They'll send agents among you. They'll send your family to basically love bomb you, to get you to stay within this system, to stay in the confines of this matrix. They don't want you breaking free. So when you moving out and about, you need to keep your head on a swivel. You need to be on point. You need to be sharp and game tight at all times. Some of you ladies out there need to learn how to be aware of your surroundings. The reason why the Most High will have you to have a husband, because a lot of you women, y'all being watched extra close because you seem to be in a place of vulnerability because there is no protection there. So it seems. Of course, you got the angels, you got the Most High who've been keeping you and preserving you. But you got to understand, these agents, they're getting more bold. They're doing more witchcraft. They're doing more sorcery to try to move in on you. When you come out your front door, somebody watching. They're getting more bold every day. You think they're not plotting? You don't think they're sitting around coming up with ways where they can stifle your growth? All you brothers out there who are chosen to do the will of the Father, let me tell you, them 2/3, meaning 2/3 of the population, 2/3 of the people in the world, they're all plotting against the chosen. They all are. They're all are watching. They sit around a round table just like the elite. And they discuss ways to keep you frustrated. And you gotta be careful. Somebody said, I'm coming up with ways to cut them off physically. Absolutely. You just gotta go about it. You got to do it. Someone also says, we as women are really being watched and have to be very careful. It may seem quiet, but many are being watched, especially if you are single. Exactly. You got all these programs out here. You got organized mob and you got gang stalkers. You got all this technology. You know, they watching y'all through these webcams. They're hacking the computers. They tracing IP addresses. These things are real. And until you leave out of the country for a little bit, for a couple weeks, couple months, spend some time elsewhere, you don't really realize how much in the Western world, how you feel like there's always somebody watching. You don't, and people would say it's just paranoia. No, the Most High gave you insight and intuition. When you in other countries, you don't feel like you being surveilled 24/7. But when you here, when you in the Western world, sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me. I'm telling you, that's exactly how it feels. It feels like somebody's watching you. That's because there are people watching. There's people plotting. There's people watching your social medias, brothers and sisters, while you are posting certain messages, profound information, and you posting up truth. Some of y'all do it in memes. It just be jokes. You don't think these people are lurking behind the scenes like, okay, hold on now. This person is going to jeopardize our way of life. We don't want them to have anything. It's bad enough they acquiring success in certain fields. It's bad enough they getting certain jobs. It's bad enough, you know, they're getting the same perks in society, some of the same perks that we're getting, just relying on the Father, relying on the Almighty. We don't want them to have that because we had to sell our souls to get in certain positions. Let alone they're getting these things, but they have the nerve to jeopardize our way of life, what we do, the treacherous acts we commit. No, something got to give. You may have people inviting you places that are really looking to line you up. It's to the point now, a lot of you females out here, they can't even go on a vacation with each other. They can't go to another state for 2 days without falling out as friends for the rest of their life. They'd have been friends for forever. They've been day ones, grew up together. One of your homegirls invite you out somewhere, y'all fly out somewhere, y'all can't spend 2 days with each other without actually hating each other. You know why? Because somebody in that group was trying to set somebody up, somebody lining somebody up. That's purposely. They were just looking to get you out of your safety zone, looking to get you isolated. I'm telling you, yo, people will line you up. And it's so treacherous out there with the 2/3, like the Almighty told us. He said that he would use the wicked to judge the evil. So they're used to this. 2/3 of the world are used to backstabbing. One man got a knife behind his back, the next man got a Glock behind his back. And it just so happened that us righteous, we're not like that. We tend to be transparent. We tend to just keep it real. If I got an issue with the next man, I'm gonna tell him about that issue. You know, all of my peers and all my constituents, they have to be on the same frequency as me. And if I'm not rolling solo, at the very least, I'm gonna be socially selective. You understand? It's for all you extroverts out there. If you're not gonna be dolo, I'm talking about roaming by yourself, making your moves, then at the very least, hear me out, be socially selective. What do I mean by that? Be careful who you trade energy with. Be careful who you have meals with. Be careful who you talk to. Be careful who you share information with. Be careful who you bond with. Be selective. Understand that everybody ain't worth your attention. And a lot of individuals out here are solely attention whores. Some of these men out here are like little boys. They just little boys crying for attention. Some of these women, little girls crying for attention. Don't give them the light of day. I see a lot of people on social media that come off as pathetic peasants, if you ask me. Pathetic peasants. Why? Because all they doing is craving for attention. And it's actually pathetic. You understand? Instead of living on a solid moral foundation, instead of living with a message, instead of doing the will of the Father, they all about themselves. They self-centered. And all you chosen ones out there, y'all gotta understand your light, your spiritual voltage, your insight is so valuable. Words can't even describe how valuable a lot of you brothers and sisters are. I'm talking about you elected people who done been through hell and back twice and still can see the light of the day. People who still full of life, who can formulate a sentence, speak clearly, think clearly, have a healthy body, healthy mindset, and still be able to smile sometimes, still be able to joke, still be able to have a good time. Don't you know that these people are miserable? These people of the world who are vain and materialistic, don't you know how miserable they are? They're miserable. They're putting on a facade. They're really unhappy people. And you can tell how unhappy they are with how they deal with each other, man. Let them be an example of why you don't want acceptance. Let that be an example of why you don't want to be in their social circles. Let it be entertainment for you watching them terrorize each other, mutilate and brutalize each other. Just why fit in with that? You'll be happier by yourself. And understand, misery loves company. Eventually, they're going to get tired of cutthroating and knifing each other. And what they going to do? All of them going to turn their energy towards you and start plotting. That's how it goes down a lot of the time. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You can be living in a neighborhood that's chaotic. You can be in a hood, projects, and it's all hell breaking loose all around your neighborhood. People gonna be beefing, fighting, day in and day out. And guess what? You could be quiet about everything. You could be that guy or that lady who ain't saying nothing. You simply minding your business, living your life. You ain't got nothing to say in regards to nobody's business. You ain't got nothing to say about that. But for some odd reason, why is it? Eventually, them individuals start to gear all their focus towards you. You've been out the way. Now all of a sudden, them same wild banshees that was on the block, y'all know them ghetto girls that's on the block, kicking up dust. All of a sudden, the pretty girl who's quiet, who just keep her face in the books, the girl that's kind of weird and quirky, who mind her business. Now all of the little all real monsters is all of a sudden looking at the little pretty girl and they want to drag her all through the streets. Ooh, jealousy is cold as the grave, man. And it ain't no respect. This is why you gotta teach these youngers growing up to know how to defend themselves. Because these public schools, oh my goodness. I know I'm talking to somebody who is new in this truth. I know I'm talking to somebody who is really into the Most High and you know, turning from the world. Man, these public school systems right now, I could tell you right now, if you are of the light and you are of the Most High, these youngins who are in these schools, who are trying to make a transition in their life and do what's good and do what's best, oh, better believe the whole school might be plotting on them. Everybody's plotting. You might even have teachers plotting, trying to keep you back, put you in certain classes with certain people. You got teachers keeping dossiers on you. This is a demonic world, man, we living in. And you got to teach your youngest the harsh reality of the situation so they can cleave even closer to the Creator. So they can get that hedge of protection, so they can know not to move with certain people. There's people out there that's going to get a lot of y'all lined up. A lot of y'all brothers out there, if you don't get your flesh under control, you're not going to be here next summer. You hear me? Summertime's coming around, the weather's beginning to break. If a lot of you brothers don't get your flesh under control, you will not be here next summer. Why? Because there are certain agencies that's giving these women incentives, these honey traps I'm talking about, these former prostitutes, these former porn stars. Listen, this is what's happening. They're walking the streets and they're getting apartments, they're getting townhouses, they're getting all kind of incentives. They're on certain programs just to set you brothers up, and you don't even know it. You think that, oh man, I'm the man. No, it ain't that at all. You just have a certain light in you, and they already have the 2/3 Pookie and Ray Ray man right in the palm of their hand. They already have control over those men. They want control over the men of the Most High. That's who they want control over. They want your soul. There's a soul harvest going on. They don't want to see you brothers ascend because you threaten this whole entire way of life. And they will be approaching you. They will come at you, brothers. It's plotting going on. And for you sisters, y'all just gotta watch out around here. You gotta watch what you wearing out here in these streets, because people are watching. You gotta watch what you post online, because there's some there's some psychopaths out here. Real talk. Somebody said it's the Bible prophecy. Women will take place of men. Yeah, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to overthrow the biblical patriarch. There's no doubt about that. And a lot of you brothers, there's certain things you got to learn as you becoming a man, as you're maturing. You're supposed to do things different anyway. Let me give you an example. When you get a certain age as a man, you're supposed to have your own business going on. And what I mean by that is you got your own life, you got your own world, you have priorities that you have in place. And you really don't have time to be around a lot of men all the time, a lot of other men all the time. I'm talking about you always hanging out with other brothers. See, that's a problem, because some of these brothers are agents as well. If you put yourself in a room full of 10 brothers, you better believe only 2 of them brothers going to be on the right page. Only 2 of them brothers going to be going somewhere in life. The rest of them, they got too much going on. They done already been intoxicated by the wine of Babylon. So you're going to be connected to these individuals and putting yourself at jeopardy. A lot of these dudes, they pillow talk. A lot of these dudes got loose lips. A lot of these dudes run their mouth to these females all behind the scenes. I mean, just running their mouths. They putting your business on Front Street. A lot of these dudes are Agent Smiths. You understand? So as a grown man, you're supposed to be really doing something on your own. You're not supposed to be around a bunch of guys. They will get you lined up and clapped out here. This is the reason why some dudes be getting their head hit out here, because other men are talking so much about you. There's a lot of jealousy being cultivated, because while the men talking, you brothers is becoming popular because your name is in the streets. Because believe it or not, a lot of these dudes, they be talking like women, bro, to these women. They be talking like women. Shout out to Raul. He was talking about that in his other broadcast. But that's really how it be. That's why I always stay away from a lot of cats, man. Because a lot of dudes be jealous, bro. They don't even know they got your name popping like fish grease in them streets. They talking to women. Now your name popping. Now everybody talking about you everywhere, and now all of a sudden there's a target on your back. Now people plotting on you because it's jealousy. I'm talking about jealousy, yeah. All my brothers, man, is jealousy, yeah. That's got these Bama scared for no reason. They be scared. A lot of y'all chosen ones who keep it solo, y'all promote a lot of fear in a lot of these people. The whole theory of it is people fear what they don't understand. A lot of these insecure, weak, two-third skinwalkers out here, they really afraid of y'all chosen ones because you really mind your business. They don't understand the strength it takes for you to stay out the way. They don't get where your source is coming from. What are you relying on to keep your head above water? What are you relying on to keep your strides moving forward? Well, you relying on the Creator, the God of all gods. You're not worried about them. But they worried about you because they can't understand you. They fear what they don't understand. Some of these dudes, they get to shaking like they caught the Holy Ghost soon as you approach them. Because they've been talking so much behind your back. As soon as you speak to them face to face, man to man, or woman to woman, they don't even know how to act. They shaking out their socks. I'm talking about palms is sweaty, knee deep, arms is heavy. I'm telling you, that's how it be, man. And people, when they fear something, they will plot on it. I've witnessed this. Let me tell you something. Growing up, and I'm talking about way before, personally, I found the Almighty. I found the Most High. When I was in them streets, moving how I moved, did what I did, messing around with different ladies, hanging with different social circles, just moving reckless, right? I could tell you now, I've been in situations where my supposed friends were trying to send me to a place where I wasn't supposed to leave that place. Now, when you go through something like that, it changes you. And the reason why a lot of my content is in regards to watch your back, watch your surroundings, watch who you roll with. Because it's no portrayal like the portrayal of when somebody trying to take you out of the game for good. Like you ain't supposed to go home. You were supposed to go to one place and you was not supposed to leave that place alive. It was a lineup, it was a setup. You wasn't supposed to go home. You wasn't supposed to breathe another day. That was supposed to be it for you. And somehow these individuals were supposed to gain some kind of power behind it. They were supposed to gain my spiritual authority. They're vampires. You got individuals out here who want to take you out. There's no lies about that. Real talk. And that's why I tell people all the time, man, remain solo, man. Don't be hanging with all them people telling all your business, especially you ladies out here. Somebody say, I've been there multiple times. See, you know what I'm talking about. And it's always when you're trying to do better. It's always when you're trying to do better in your life. I'm talking about it never fails. Instead of these guys out here letting you go and live your life, go get you a gig, start over, start you a family, you know what I'm saying? Build your business and just be great. They won't allow it. It's like it's something in them saying that they gotta bring you down. Blood sacrifices are real. Blood sacrifices are real, and it's not just going on in the industry. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. Your family will line you up. I done seen cousins kill cousins. I done seen sisters line sisters up. I done seen guys line their fathers up to get the insurance money. You know, you'll be surprised what people will do. You'll be surprised how demented and twisted people are. I done heard stories of people, you know, unplugging, you know, basically what do you call it? Those oxygen tanks that's bringing in the ventilator. I done heard people tying knots in the tubes to try to stop that person from getting oxygen, also they can get that insurance policy money because they thought nobody was watching. Some of these hospitals have caught things like that on camera. You cannot trust no one. And this is why brothers in truth, we try to push a certain lifestyle to our people. We talk about homeschooling your children. We talk about polygyny. We talk about these things because you need a family environment that's conducive where you don't put your children out in the world, where a woman will have a sister wife to watch the children if she decides to pursue some type of career. Because I seen a video the other day in a daycare in Maryland. It was a daycare in Maryland, right? And this woman was literally abusing these children, bro. It was absolutely heart-wrenching what she was doing to these children, bro. I mean, she was basically torturing them, kicking them, punching them, slapping them, pushing them on the ground, yelling at them, cussing at them. I'm telling you, you cannot trust these demons walking around. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of demonology in society right now, more than ever. More than ever before in history, there's demonic spirits on people. And you can't trust nobody. So when I be talking about get your children out of these daycare schools, hey, get yourself, get yourself a husband, ladies, and get a sister wife. There's certain reasons why we promote certain lifestyles over here. There's a lot of demon possession. A lot of individuals who shaking your hand, they demons too. A lot of them, they lack empathy. A lot of them are jealous at the fact that you can smile. They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you winning. Somebody said, bro, I play at this tennis club. I follow the Most High and keep my distance. I'm noticing everyone is starting to look at me evil. I feel like they are jealous. Should I stop going there? Hey, if you don't feel comfortable there, do what you need to do. But at the end of the day, if we were to stop going to certain places based on how people look at us, a lot of times we wouldn't be able to go to the grocery store. We wouldn't be able to go pump gas. We wouldn't be able to go outside to a park. It's gonna get to the point where when your light magnifies at a certain level, all you gonna get is mean mugs and cold stares. So you gotta use your discretion on how you gonna move. You know, as the world further slips into the abyss, as the world continues to get worse, people gonna get worse, especially in these cities, these highly populated areas, these places where people are forced to live right stacked up against each other, pretty much, you know, in packs like the way they have us. There's been studies done on mice to show how mice live in colonies. And when you take a lack of food, when you just take a little food out, and you got all of these mice living on top of each other, right next to each other, all hell breaks loose. They have actually formed the structure of the cities in experiments that they done with mice to see human behavior and trace human behavioral patterns. So when I say don't trust nobody, don't trust them, especially when it's desperation out here. Somebody said, I got eyes on people around me, jealousy, because I'm leaving the world. Where is it? I'm closer to God now. They don't understand why. No, they don't understand, but they're just threatened. Let me tell you, when you get around people who don't want to change their lives, they don't want to see the reality of what we're living right now. And they see an individual like yourselves, and you brothers and sisters are doing something different, and you're in your scriptures, you're actually honoring God's law, statutes, and commandments, you're making a dramatic change in your life. One or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to be happy for you and they're going to want to know what these changes are about. They want to know how they can get involved in these changes. They want to know how they can apply. They see something special in you. It's unfortunate most people are not going to look at it that way. Most people will rise up against you. Most people will condemn you. Most people will sow discord among other people. People will turn people against you. Why? because you just threatened their entire existence. They didn't believe that you even existed. Pure people. Because they've been so evil their entire lives. And they've gotten to the point of no return. They've gotten to the point where they've turned callous and cold. They've gotten to the point where they don't sympathize with each other. So when they see you crawl out of that gravel pit, make it through the muck and the mire, and start to ascend, they like, we can't allow that. That's threatening to our reality. Who did this person think they are? You're a reminder that they don't have that much time. You're a reminder that this world that they're living in right now is only temporary. Nobody wants to be reminded that their delusion is temporary and that they're going to have to do better. Your very essence, it ruffles their feathers. The demons in them are frustrated. Everything is spiritual. And then they'll begin to do things to try to trigger you. This is part of the plot. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. The plot is deep. And this is why I tell you, brothers and sisters, all the time, do not entertain negative people. Do not entertain these people who are slandering you, lying on you, trying to start fights with you. Don't entertain these people. Don't give them the time of day. They're worthless peasants. Ye are royalty. You're royal people, a peculiar priesthood. You're chosen by the Almighty. You're powerful. So when you give bottom-feeding peasants your attention, then that's part of the plot, because you didn't just gave them energy to work with. And a lot of times y'all give them information to work with because you're responding. You're gonna have individuals call your phone, hit you up out of nowhere, out of clear blue, just to try to ruffle your feathers, just to try to trigger you. Your own family will do it. Because Satan look at it like family is fair game. If I can't get to this person, I'm gonna get to the people that's closest to this person. Since he got the whole world under subjection of the beast. And it's that one member out of the family, that one or two members out of the family that really ain't with the program. He said, okay, Satan said, I can use this whole family against them. I can use this whole entire family because I want that soul. Sometimes you got to block your own mama. Sometimes you got to block your own daddy. Sometimes you got to block your own sister. You got to block your own brother off social media, off your phone, all of that. You can't even engage with them. At some point, you got to realize that some people are just not good for you. At some point, you got to realize that some people are detrimental to you. It's an unfortunate truth, but it's the truth. When them scripture says, if ye love mother and father more than me, sister and brother more than me, ye are not worthy of me. That is the absolute truth. When that Bible says, I have come to set variance, that's what the scriptures say. I have come to set variance. Think not that I come to bring peace on earth. Think not, but I've come to bring a sword. I come to turn mother, sister, father, brother. I come to bring them all against each other. Oh, you thought Christ was coming to bring all the families together and everybody be happy and go sit at Thanksgiving and Christmas together. That's what you thought. That's not what the Bible say. He said, I come to bring separation. I want to see who's the flock of my shepherds. I want to see who's going to follow me. I want to see who's going to come out of this world and walk that narrow path, because the whole family is going to turn against them, and it ain't going to work. It ain't going to be no togetherness and unity. This is just the facts. This is just the facts. It's going to have to come a time where you realize that your own mother is a manipulator, a deceiver, a liar. Your own mother had you lined up. Some of your own fathers had you lined up. Some of them are unrepentant. Some of them have done things to you. Let me tell you something. Some of your parents don't even know who you are. Chosen ones. Let me explain this. When you had a personal revelation with Yah, when you've been reborn, you are not the child that grew up around your parents. You are not the same person. And I'm talking about for those people who have parents who are toxic. Use your discretion, not everybody. Of course, we honor thy mother, honor thy father, so that we have length of days. You don't have to publicly disrespect them, but some of y'all need to get the hell away from them. Some of them are going to keep you in a place where you will never excel in your life. Some of them have made mistakes in their lives that they won't even address, and they're not going nowhere, so they're going to try to keep you there. They're going to try to keep you there right with them and make you waste your entire life on their life mistakes. There's going to have to come a time where some of y'all say, you know what? Blood or not blood, if you're not helping me in this spiritual walk, if you're not helping me elevate as a person, if you're not supportive of this biblical truth, if you're not supportive of me changing my life around, I don't want nothing to do with you. And then there's some people that you got to walk away from simply because they're not going anywhere. They made a decision of what course they're going to take. And staying around them is just going to muddy the waters. And your life is going to be at a standstill. This survival of the fittest, man. Listen, Almighty God is not playing with people. When you go to when you are faced before the Most High, when you are staring the Creator in the face in Judgment Day, you can't have no excuses. You can't sit before the Father and say, you know what, the reason, Lord, I didn't follow your real law, the reason why I kept going on Christmas, the reason why I kept going to Easter, Thanksgiving, and living with my family, although everybody's toxic, the kids getting touched on in the family, but nobody's saying nothing. We celebrating pagan holidays, everybody on dope and pills, and the only reason I kept on joining them because that's my family, Lord. You think the Most High gonna say, okay, I get it. That was your mama, that was your sister, that was your brother, that was your family. I get it. Okay, you get a pass. You get a pass. That's not what Yah is going to say to you. That's not what the Almighty is going to say to you. He gonna say, depart from me, I never knew you. Because you love them people more than you love truth. Love is truth. You gotta roll solo a lot of the times in life, man. If it don't line up with them scriptures, if it don't line up with the word of the Most High, get them out your life. Let me see. Somebody said, finally, someone speaking out about family scapegoating abuse and families sweep abuse under the rug. Right, that's exactly what they do. It's crazy how the chosen ones will wake up, begin to follow the Most High's word, and the whole family has turned on them. The whole family has made all kind of disparaging remarks, lied on that person. When you got other people in the families that done the worst of the worst, that done unspeakable, horrendous acts, they're more in the fold than people who are following God. The people who've been doing the same old thing, they're more in the fold than you. You know why? Because that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of a lot of people. When Christ was on that cross, and what was his name? The crook. What was his name? It wasn't Lazarus. The crook. They had a choice between Christ and there was another figure that was up there. Y'all know the name. Throw it in the chat. Barbarous was his name. I figured it out. Barbarous. They said, look, give us Barbarous. Give us Barbarous. That's how evil this world is. They would rather have the most evil, wicked, vile person around them than have somebody of the light around them. So don't think for a second they're not plotting on ways to get you set up and lined up out here. And it'll be the people closest to you. People who would do things behind your back to close doors of opportunity so you don't get certain jobs or you don't get certain support. Man, I done seen it. Oh, I done seen the most cutthroat things happen with people that are supposed to be close to you. People who are supposed to want to see you win. Real talk. Somebody said, okay, I'm following the channel very closely. You're on point. All praises. Somebody said, I'm ready to roll solo. Now seems like I do better by myself. I'm more productive out here in the world. And that's another thing. Man, when you take that solo walk of a loner, man, the focus, the levels of focus are out of this world. You can get so much more done when you ain't got nobody who is stifling your growth. And a lot of you brothers, y'all got women in your lives that you need to get rid of them. Some of you brothers out there, man, y'all put yourselves in some situations, bro. And it's all based on not having control over your flesh. Some of you brothers out there, y'all got a woman next to you that's not gonna let you elevate. She's going to stop you. At every corner that you rise up, she's gonna stop you. Some of you fellas, y'all in relationships right now, every time you start thinking clearly, every time you start rising up and you excelling in your respective field of work, what happened? Here come that woman with that mouth almighty, distracting you. She's distracting you. She's making it so you cannot think clearly. She's being used by the devil. That's who she's being used by. She's being used by Satan. And somebody in the chat said men too. I'm not speaking about men too right now. I'm speaking directly to a lot of fellas out here. I'm speaking directly to the fellas right now. Because a lot of brothers don't have peace in their households. Somebody said new breed. Would it be wise to just drop everything, job, family, friends, and relocate to a new state with little money for a fresh start in this walk? See, that's your discretion. See, nobody knows your situation more than you know. For you to ask a question like that, that means that's something that you're considering. Sometimes we rely on other people for answers in our lives when we already know the answer. We know what to do. We know what course to take in our lives. You know why? Because the God Almighty gave it to us. He gave us direction. We know which way to go. And that goes into being alone. Once you spend a lot of time alone, man, you get certain downloads and you get wisdom. You'll have knowledge and then you'll have wisdom and you know how to apply that knowledge. But it takes being solo. It takes getting a fresh start would be just automatically unplugging from a lot of people. That's a fresh start. Because there's people in your life that you know ain't right. Somebody said, remove every person holding you back from God. Exactly. Somebody said, starting over and over, guided by the master. Exactly. Somebody said, you can't run from demons. You have to hold your head up and fight them. Right. But see, here's the thing. A lot of us got personal demons too. You fight those by being alone. When you got to look in the mirror and go head up. When it's only you, the Most High, and all your defects and defaults. When you by yourself and you got to throw that armor on and go to war, it ain't nothing like that. When you know you got to go into a fast and fight in the spirit realm. Somebody said, I feel unity is better, independence destroys us. Well, you know, unity among who? You know, here on this channel, there are times where I discuss unity. And when I'm talking about unity, I understand it. A lot of people talk about unity, but don't even know where to start. You don't know where to start. That's the problem. You're joining these churches, you joining these organizations, you getting involved with people, and you end up love bombed, hurt, betrayed, You end up jumping out there trying to unify with everybody and anybody, but you didn't understand that you got to become one with you first. How could you unite with anybody if you haven't even become one with self? That's one thing about it. Especially a lot of people who new to this truth. You're so thirsty for knowledge. You want to be amongst the like-minded, but you got to become one with yourself first, right? You got to become one with who you are. That's why I say, man, be solo as long as you can. And then the right people will be sent your way. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's my message for the day. I wanted y'all to know, man, these people are plotting. They don't want to see you winning. All you chosen ones, hold your head up. Stay in them scriptures, stay prayed up. Take care of yourselves to the best of your ability. Live your life to the fullest. Don't be a religious person. Enjoy life. But understand that there's bottom-feeding devils and demons that are out there, they plotting, and they don't want to see you. They don't want to see you rise. So hopefully this motivational talk this Monday helped you out. Everything starts within. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? How you gonna win if you ain't right within? Get right with yourself. Everybody needs to take the Damascus road of the loner, and then you build up. 12 tribes, one nation. I love y'all. Shalom and peace.